Most men don't realize how easy they are to control. One delayed text, and now your whole mood changes. One call reply, and now you're checking your phone every 2 minutes. One argument with a woman, and now you can't focus at work, you can't train properly, you can't think clearly because your mind is stuck on one question. Did I lose her? And this is where most men lie to themselves. You call it love. You call it what? Caring? Being emotionally invested? But a lot of the time, brother, it's not love. It's emotional dependency. Because if another person can decide when you feel calm, when you feel anxious, and when you feel confident, and when you feel weak, then you don't have peace. You have permission-based stability. And that is why modern men are so easy to manipulate. A man who has no inner peace will negotiate with disrespect just to avoid being alone. He will apologize when he did nothing wrong. He will chase clarity from a woman who is giving him confusion. He will trade his masculine frame from temporary comfort. But a man at peace, he doesn't panic when she pulls away. He doesn't lose himself when emotions rise. He doesn't beg the world to make him feel stable, because his peace does not come from her mood, her attention, her approval, or her affection. It comes from self-mastery. And today we're talking about the stoic masculine trait modern men forgot. True peace comes from within. Let's get to it. Most men today are not at peace. They're distracted, emotionally reactive, controlled by validation, attention, and female approval. And because of that, they are mentally weak. A man who needs peace from a woman will always become a slave to her emotions. Listen to that again. A man who needs peace from a woman will always become slave to her emotions. If your happiness depends on whether she texts you back, whether she smiles back at you, whether she gives you affection today, then you're not leading your life. You're negotiating your emotional stability with another human being. And that is dangerous. Because true peace was never supposed to come from outside of you. It comes from self-mastery. That is the stoic masculine trait modern men forgot. Modern society trained men to seek emotional comfort instead of inner discipline. Men today chase validation, attention, female approval, you name it, social acceptance, instant gratification. It never ends. And then they wonder why they feel empty. Because external validation is temporary. The moment you build your peace around people, people gain control over your mind. That's why one text can ruin a weak man's entire day. One rejection destroys him, one argument shakes his confidence, one woman pulling away makes him lose focus in life. Why? Because he built his emotional foundation on feminine energy instead of masculine purpose. A masculine man does not wake up asking, what mood is she in today? He wakes up asking, what must I conquer today? What am I going to accomplish today? That is the difference. A lot of men misunderstand Stoicism. Stoicism is not becoming cold. It is not suppressing emotions. It is not pretending not to care. Stoicism is emotional control. It is the ability to remain centered while chaos happens around you. That is masculine strength. Anybody can react emotionally. Anybody can yell. Anybody can lose control. Anybody can become impulsive. But remaining calm under pressure, that is power. Especially in relationships. Because feminine energy is emotional by nature. Women feel before they think. Feelings. Everything is about feelings with women. All they do is feel, and then they act accordingly. So if you as a man become emotionally reactive, now both are operating emotionally. That creates chaos. The masculine role is stability, grounded energy, direction, emotional leadership. That does not mean tolerating disrespect though. It means you do not lose control of yourself because someone else lost control of themselves. That is self-mastery. Never mimic emotional energy with women. Think it through and process it accordingly. A peaceful man is usually a disciplined man because discipline creates self-respect. And self-respect creates inner peace. Think about it. When a man is weak, he avoids responsibility, avoids hard conversations. You know where I'm going. Avoids discomfort, avoids discipline, avoids the truth. Then anxiety starts consuming him. Why? Because deep down he knows he's in control of himself. But when a man trains his body, sharpens his mind, controls his emotions, builds his purpose. He develops certainty within himself. That certainty becomes peace, not because life becomes easier, but because he becomes stronger. That is why masculine men throughout history embraced struggle. Struggle makes men stronger. Hard times create strong men. The gym, combat, business, leadership, discipline. Not because suffering is fun, because it's not, but because difficult paths forge powerful minds. Weak men search for comfort. Strong men build themselves into men who can handle discomfort. That is Stoicism. Women naturally feel safer around emotional, grounded men, not fake nice guys. Not emotional men begging for reassurance every 5 minutes. Calm men, centered men, men who are stable under pressure. Why? Because emotions are contagious. If you panic easily, react impulsively, become emotionally unstable, she will feel instability through you. But when you remain calm during stress, conflict, and uncertainty, you communicate strength without saying a word. This is why emotional self-control is attractive. A stoic man makes decisions based on logic and purpose, not temporary emotions. And women subconsciously respect that, not because he's controlling her, but because he clearly controls himself. A man who cannot control himself cannot lead. Not a relationship, not a family, not a business, not even his own mind. Most men are trying to master women before mastering themselves. This is backwards. You cannot lead a relationship if you cannot lead your own emotions. You cannot demand loyalty while lacking discipline. You cannot expect peace while living in chaos internally. Your first mission as a man is self-mastery. Master your emotions, your habits, your mindset, your discipline, your reactions, your purpose. Because once a man becomes centered internally, he stops chasing peace from the outside world. You no longer need the outside world to validate you. And ironically, that is when people naturally respect him more. Because calm masculine energy is rare today. Most men are emotionally driven. The man who remains composed instantly separates himself from the crowd. And you don't want to be part of the crowd. You want to be the stage. True peace does not come from women. It does not come from money. It does not come from attention. It does not come from validation. True peace comes from conquering yourself, from discipline, from your emotional control, from purpose, from self-mastery. That is the stoic masculine trait modern men forgot. And the moment you stop needing the world to emotionally comfort you, is the moment you finally become dangerous in a positive way. Focused, grounded, unshakable. Because a man who masters himself cannot be controlled by chaos. And in today's world, that is a superpower. If this message opened your eyes, subscribe to the channel. Your evolution as a man starts now. This is Mark the Essence. See you on the next video. Thanks for watching.